Warren Buffett once said, "The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect." But what if the key to mastering your mindset and breaking free from financial stress has been in the Bible all along? If you're tired of money worries keeping you up at night, you're about to discover 7 powerful biblical steps that can transform your finances and your future. Let's dive in. 1. Acknowledge God's ownership. Psalm 24 verse 1. The earth is the Lord's. The first step to breaking free from financial stress is recognizing that everything belongs to God. The psalmist says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." When you truly accept that God owns it all, something powerful happens. The pressure lifts off your shoulders. You're no longer the owner desperately trying to control every dollar. You're the steward managing God's resources with purpose and trust. Imagine the difference. A scarcity mindset is like a trader panicking during a market crash, making impulsive decisions that often make things worse. But a steward? That's like a smart investor who calmly diversifies, plans ahead, and trusts in long-term growth. So what does this look like in real life? Meet John, a middle manager with a regular 9-to-5 job, buried under $20,000 of credit card debt. Everything changed for him the day a mentor shared Psalm 24:1. John realized he'd been stressing over money as if he were the owner, when really he was just the manager of God's funds. Here's how his journey unfolded. Year 1. John started tithing 10% and built his first real budget. Years 2, he cut unnecessary expenses and tackled debt head-on. Year 3, John became debt-free, not through a salary spike, but by managing cash flow with purpose and faith. John went from sleepless nights and anxiety to managing his finances with confidence. He found peace knowing the ultimate owner had his back. Here's the key. When you see yourself as a steward, you stop chasing status or comparing your portfolio to others. Instead, you measure success by your faithfulness to God's plan, maximizing what you've been given, whether it's a modest salary or a robust investment account. If stories like John's inspire you, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next step on your journey to financial freedom. Now, let's keep going. Step 2. Practice gratitude over anxiety. Philippians 4:6-7. Ever caught yourself thinking, "How will I ever pay off all these bills?" Or, "Inflation is eating my savings alive." You're not alone. These worries hit home for many of us, especially when every dollar counts. But what if this anxious mindset is actually fueling your financial stress? Philippians 4:6 verse 7 gives us a game-changing strategy. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds. Instead of letting worry run your financial plan, hit pause, take your concerns to God, and here's the twist, thank Him for what you already have. This isn't just spiritual talk, it's a proven mindset shift. When you lead with gratitude, you unlock a kind of peace that's unshakable, even when the bills keep coming. Think of gratitude like a diversified index fund. It doesn't erase the ups and downs, but it anchors your portfolio through every market swing. Let's get practical. A few years ago, I met Sarah, a freelance designer. She was juggling overdue bills and feeling cornered by debt. After reading Philippians 4, she started a gratitude journal, listing every blessing, from small client payments to surprise discounts at the store. She prayed over her budget, thanked God for every bit of provision, and stopped making fear-based money decisions. Within 2 years, Sarah built up a $6,000 emergency fund, negotiated better client contracts, and ditched payday loans for good, all because gratitude changed her financial outlook. Gratitude won't make your problems vanish, but it will anchor you with God's peace while you tackle them. That's the kind of financial foundation you want, steady, resilient, and ready for anything. Step 3. Seek first His kingdom. Matthew 6:33. If you had to choose between chasing risky, short-term gains or investing for steady, long-term growth, what would you pick? Smart investors know sustainable returns always win. Matthew 6:33 lays out the ultimate investment strategy. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Prioritizing God's kingdom isn't just a spiritual platitude, it's a financial game plan. Instead of waking up worried about your bank balance, start your day asking, God, how can I honor you with my resources today? This doesn't mean ignoring your bills or skipping your budget. In fact, it means managing your money with even more discipline and purpose. Here's the kicker. Tithing isn't just generosity, it's your way of paying God first, like a faith-based version of the pay yourself first principle. And the returns, they're guaranteed, both in this life and beyond. Let's look at Maria, a small business owner in a financial crunch. Inspired by Matthew 6:33, she restructured her budget to prioritize giving and wise spending. Within 6 months, her cash flow stabilized. She landed 3 new contracts, and she was able to support her church's outreach program, all while experiencing less stress and more purpose. So, what's one way you can seek God's kingdom in your finances today? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and help inspire others in our community. Step 4. Create biblical boundaries. Proverbs 21 verse 5. If you're truly serious about building a strong financial future, it's time to build a fence. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty." The diligent here isn't just someone with a to-do list. It's someone who sets clear boundaries around their finances, like building a fence around a garden. Without boundaries, your money gets trampled by impulse purchases and outside pressures. What does this look like in real life? Meet David, a teacher always one emergency away from financial ruin. Inspired by Joseph's wisdom in storing grain before famine, David committed to building his own storehouse, an emergency fund. Starting with just $50 a month, he cut small luxuries like daily coffee runs. 2 years later, when his car broke down, his $2,000 emergency fund covered the repair. No debt, no stress. David's journey to financial stability began with setting clear boundaries. The first was a budget boundary. He gave every dollar a purpose before spending it, ensuring he stayed in control of his money. The second was a relationship boundary. He stopped lending to people who never repaid, protecting both his finances and his peace of mind. And finally, he set an emergency boundary, building a financial firewall that shielded him from life's unexpected surprises. These 3 boundaries didn't limit David, they empowered him. The key? David learned to say no to hasty decisions and yes to diligent planning, just like Proverbs 21 verse 5 promises. Step 5. Work with purpose. Colossians 3:23. Warren Buffett once said, "Take a job that you love. You will jump out of bed in the morning." But the Bible said it first. Colossians 3:23 tells us, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." Here's the financial breakthrough. When you work as for the Lord, everything changes. Your effort level rises, your standards improve, your value to employers increases. Imagine if Jesus were your direct supervisor. Would you show up differently? Would you give your absolute best? This isn't about human praise or promotions, though those often follow. It's about stewarding the gifts God gave you. The financial impact of doing great work goes far beyond your paycheck. High performance often leads to raises and promotions. Excellence opens doors to better opportunities. When your work is driven by purpose, it reduces stress and burnout, helping you stay in the game longer. And over time, you become more valuable in the marketplace, professionally and financially. Whether you're crunching numbers or cleaning offices, your job is part of God's greater plan. Instead of dreading Monday morning, you'll find meaning in your work, and that often translates to better financial outcomes. Step 6. Practice contentment. 1 Timothy 6:6-8. Our society constantly tells us we need more, better, newer, and shinier. But what does the Bible say? 1 Timothy 6:6-8 gives us the exit strategy. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. It tells us that true great gain isn't found in accumulating vast wealth. but in a heart that is satisfied with God's provision and presence. But why is contentment so vital for breaking free from financial stress? Because discontentment is the engine of endless desire. It whispers lies that, if only I had X, then I would be happy, or my problems would disappear if I just had Y amount of money. This relentless pursuit of more often leads to overspending, accumulating debt, making hasty financial decisions, and ultimately perpetuating the very stress we're trying to escape. The moment we get a raise, we start thinking about buying a new car or a bigger house. If we lack contentment, our desires simply expand to the next level. We're constantly chasing a moving target, and that chase is exhausting, financially draining, and deeply unsatisfying. It's a treadmill that never stops, and it leaves us feeling perpetually behind. Practicing contentment, on the other hand, allows us to step off that treadmill. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. This isn't to say we shouldn't strive to improve our circumstances or seek God's blessings. It means that our peace and joy aren't dependent on those external things. When you practice contentment, you naturally spend less on things you don't truly need. You are less susceptible to impulsive purchases, driven by a desire to keep up with the Joneses. You become a better steward of the resources God has already entrusted to you, which in turn can lead to greater financial stability and peace. Step 7. Trust in God's provision. Matthew 6:26. Most financial stress boils down to one thing. What if there's not enough? Jesus addresses this in Matthew 6:26, which says the following: "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" Financial stress often stems from a fear of lack, a worry about the future, or a feeling that we must control every aspect of our income and expenses. Here's the mindset shift. If God takes care of the birds, how much more will He provide for you, His beloved child? This isn't a call to be careless with money. It's about working with diligence and purpose and letting go of fear-based control. Trusting in God's provision means believing that He knows our needs even before we ask. It means casting our anxieties on Him because He cares for us. It means understanding that His ways of provision might look different from what we expect, through unexpected blessings, open doors, wise counsel, or even simply teaching us to live within our means. This trust allows us to sleep better at night, knowing that our Father is watching over us. It empowers us to give cheerfully, to save diligently, and to spend wisely, not out of desperation, but out of a spirit of faith and gratitude. If God feeds the birds, He will surely feed you. Consider the story of Sarah Miller, a single mom in Ohio. Despite working hard, she just couldn't seem to break free from financial stress. One month, her essential car needed an expensive repair. Panic set in. Lying awake, she read Matthew 6:26, "Look at the birds," and realized if God cared for them, He'd surely care for her. The next morning, Sarah prayed, surrendering her fears. Later that day, her neighbor unexpectedly offered to sell her a reliable car for a fraction of its value, a perfectly timed miracle. This experience transformed Sarah. She still managed her finances wisely, but the fear was replaced by peace. She learned to trust God's active involvement, seeing His provision in daily blessings, and the suffocating stress lifted, replaced by deep, abiding faith. That's all we have for you on this video, but if you liked it, click the link on your screen to check out other amazing content we have for you. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. See you in the next one.